We're in Psalm 16. This is a fantastic psalm. And I've been meditating on it as we've been going through it, and I keep learning more. The more I think about it, the more applicable it becomes to my life, and the more God drives it deeper into my psyche. And throughout the day, I come into circumstances and situations that this psalm speaks into. And I hope that's happening to you as well. Let's read through verses, let's see here. We're going to pick it up in verse 5 actually today, but let's track along. David is differentiating the wonder and awesomeness of belonging to God versus caving into idolatry or paganism. And it is a very pertinent challenge to us today because there are all kinds of things in our lives that challenge us for the preeminent place in our lives and our loves, our affections, over the Lord and our love for Him, our devotion to Him. And so David is kind of declaring his devotion to God, which is what we ought to all declare as well in our lives. Preserve me, O God, for in Thee do I put my trust. O my soul, Thou hast said unto the Lord, Thou art my Lord. There it is, my supreme love, my supreme leadership. Thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to Thee. I couldn't earn this. I couldn't bring my goodness to you. This is an act of mercy, really, is what he's saying. The fact that God would be my Lord when I've got no goodness to bring to the table is an astounding thought. But to the saints that are in the earth and to the excellent, in whom is all my delight. David said, I can't bring goodness to God, but I can disseminate His goodness to His saints and to His people. I can delight in blessing others. Verse 4, their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after other gods. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. A 21st century application is, I will refuse to partake in the idolatry of our culture. And could I insert the idolatry of our Christendom, the idolatry of Christianity at large, or ministry even. Now for me, I say ministry because I'm in vocational ministry. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of idolatry that there is in ministry. I'm tempted, and other ministry leaders are tempted to idolize the fruit, the metrics, the church growth, or the sense of fulfillment that comes when the church is doing well. Or the fulfillment we find in other people, or the affirmation. Or I was sharing yesterday with our seniors in our church, we don't have a good name for this group, our senior saints, that God gives us opportunities as ministry is going and growing. He opens doors of opportunity for me to teach or preach or share or write or do these things. And I said to them, it's very important that I don't aspire to these things, that I don't chase these things. And over time, the luster of such pursuits falls away anyway. You really, as you grow in ministry, your heart's desire becomes more narrow and focused on the Lord Himself. You just want to please the Lord. And as that focus narrows, His lordship grows in your life. He even opens more opportunities. And so you don't aspire to these opportunities, but you do want to step through them. And as David says in verse 3, you want to disseminate God's goodness, and you want to bless them. You want to delight in others as the Lord would. And so it's interesting that the more we release the outcomes and the blessings and the gifts of God into His hands, and the more we love and cherish Him alone, the more He's free to release His blessings back to us. It's amazing how that works. And we can't fake it, okay? You can't say, God, I'm going to idolize your gifts by not idolizing them, okay? It doesn't work that way. You have to decide, I'm not going to idolize the pleasures, the economics, the outcomes of life. I'm not going to chase the idols of our culture, sex, success, financial security, power, prominence. I'm not going to chase these things. And in your life, they have their own iteration, as in my life, in my ministry context, they have their own iteration. Now, David says, I'm not going to participate in idolatry. I'm going to love my God truly, purely, supremely as my Lord. And we talked about how sorrows increase. Idolatry brings sorrow into our lives. It's inevitable. Okay. There's so much more I want to say on that, and I don't have the time. But think of it this way, friend. God is never your oppressor. Okay. So whenever you are diminishing God's presence in your life and elevating something else, whatever has your affections more than God is not only an idol, but it is soon to be your oppressor. Okay. You will exhaust yourself to attain these things, where you don't have to exhaust yourself to obtain God. He comes to you. He gives his goodness to you. His generosity is lavish towards you. So God doesn't demand that you exhaust yourself to achieve his approval. But think about it. Everything else in life does. Okay. Basically, and I know that a church context is an unconditionally loving context, but if as a pastor, I am called to labor, I'm called to work, I'm called to expend myself. And so it's hard work. Okay. Now, if I idolize pastoring, then I will work way too hard. I will exhaust myself, and pastoring will become my oppressor. It will become an oppression in my life. And so the things we chase, the things we love more than God, become our affections, and they become our oppressors because they demand that we exhaust ourselves to attain or achieve them or accomplish them. And then once we accomplish them, once we get there, then we have to exhaust ourselves in anxiety and fear to secure whatever blessings or whatever we enjoy, whatever outcomes or results, the rewards. We have to then ensure it. We have to secure it. We have to work hard to keep it. Okay. And think about this. When it comes to God, he gives us his blessings freely by grace through faith. And we don't have to work to secure them. We don't have to work to keep them. God says, I'm yours. I will always be yours. And it's not through any effort of your own. This is why the lordship of Jesus is always a liberating experience, while the idolatry or lordship of anything else is always eventually and perpetually an oppressive experience. And when you write the record, when you subject your affections to the lordship of Jesus and you declare he is preeminent in your life, you're liberating yourself into the goodness and the lavish generosity of God. God will never oppress you like every other Lord will. Okay, enough on that one. And wow, I'm almost out of time. I didn't even get to go where I wanted to go today, but look at the verse. The Lord is my portion. No, the Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. Okay, so I don't even have time to start this verse because it is rich. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot. So verse 5, David says that God is everything that we hope everything else will be. Okay? Our economic security, our financial or career success, our life success and achievements. All of these things, all the things we chase, David says, no, I'm going to put it all on God to be those things. So I don't have time to unfold it, but I'm just going to say, don't miss tomorrow. Or let's see. Yeah, don't miss tomorrow because this verse will bless you. Hey, thanks for joining me this Wednesday. Join us tonight in person or online for groups. And until tomorrow, have a great day.